Welcome to Tectonic Audio Labs Suite at CES 2025. My name is Tim Whitwell. I'm the VP of Engineering at Tectonic. I'm going to start off this morning by talking about the studio monitor concepts that we are showing here. So what we have is three pairs of speakers. One of those, starting off here, is the Adam, which is a reference unit that we use to compare. But we're going to show two of our Tectonic concepts here. So on the far left-hand side here, we have a two-way system. This is a two-way that we have reimagined with the BMR technology to use a mid-HF drive unit. So the mid-HF BMR covers about 300 to 400 hertz, up to 20 kilohertz and beyond. And then below that frequency, we cross over to a dedicated subwoofer drive unit. So what that means is that the lower crossover obviously gets us away from the critical vocal region, which is where hearing is very sensitive, but also means that we can essentially get an effective point source because the crossover wavelength is now much larger than the separation of the drive units. So this is allowing us also to have a dedicated subwoofer drive unit as opposed to a normal mid-bass drive unit, which has certain compromises because it has to reach up much higher in frequency to cross over to a tweeter. So with this concept, we actually can achieve deeper bass, a much smoother integration of the drive units, and a much more natural sounding, particularly through the vocal region. And now, of course, all of the speech and vocal bands are coming through a single drive unit as opposed to being split as they are in a typical two-way system. Moving on to the next one on the left here, this is showing off the BMR-K technology. So this is a single full-range 5.5-inch BMR drive unit covering approximately 45 hertz to 20 kilohertz. But this is being achieved with a single drive unit. So there's no crossovers. It's a very kind of pure acoustic single point source. And then we're offering the Adams here with a ribbon tweeter as a good sort of competition benchmark to compare the units against. Thank you. This demonstration area is showing off, particularly emphasizing the single full-range BMR drive unit concept. So we start off with this is an in-market product. This is the Drop BMR1 Mark II. What you have here is a single full-range square form factor BMR drive unit. This is one of the things that you get with BMR is that you actually can not just do circles, you can do squares, rectangles, high aspect ratio drive units. And in this case, it has a pair of passive radiators in the enclosure. And this is a sort of desktop computer speaker delivering a really wide directivity, full range immersive sound. And the square form factor actually captures more radiating area on the baffle. So it's a real acoustic benefit there as well, leading to about 50% more radiated acoustic power compared to a circle shaped driver that would fit there. Moving across here, we have the Mackie CR2X cubes. Again, a single full range drive unit. In this case, it is about a 3-inch full-range BMR. And then going right across here, we have this is one of our concepts. We call this Geode, and this is showing off one of our new drive units. This is a 3.5-inch, again, single full-range drive unit in about 5-litre ported enclosure. We designed the enclosure this way because it's the minimum diffraction shape, so it gives a very, very beautiful stereo image and very precise image. And again, showing off the single full-range drive unit performance, where we go from minus 6 dB as about 50 hertz to beyond 20 kilohertz with these units. So again, it's that extreme, no crossover, very, very tight focus on the time domain performance. So this area of our suite is focusing on conferencing applications. So we start off here with one of the in-market products from L Labs. This is the Meeting L3. It's an excellent conferencing speaker with extremely wide coverage for everyone around the table. And that matches with the 360-degree camera that they have on top. So 360-degree camera, 360-degree audio coverage. Very nice product. We're very proud to be in that. And then we come across here to the CSM 350. This is a concept that we've put together that showcases what a BMR can do with an acoustic lens. So not only are you getting the 360-degree sound from the lens, so the drive unit is down firing onto this lens, projects the sound out 360 degrees this way, but also we've optimized the lens geometry to work very nicely with our flat diaphragm drive units to give an extremely smooth coverage in the vertical plane as well. This is very, very hard to achieve, particularly with conventional drivers and the relationship they have with the acoustic lens. So this allows us to get, again, extremely smooth coverage in a conferencing environment. We have one of the older products that Tectonic BMR drive units have been in. This is the First Alert One Link. Again, another great product. This is more of a ceiling mounted product, but this is our sort of conferencing space. Okay, thank you. This area of our suite is showing off the integrated monitor concept. So we have a 2.1 system very discreetly embedded into this monitor. So you can see on the bottom here, just kind of hanging off the bottom of the monitor, we have two of our high aspect ratio mid-high drive units. These are called Olivine. This is a new introduction for us this year, and these are covering the mid and high frequency range, and the directivity across this long axis here is incredibly smooth, and this is again through the BMR technology, particularly with the high aspect ratio diaphragms. But augmenting that, and really critical for a really immersive gaming experience, is the integration of a subwoofer into the monitor. So you can't see anything from this side, but if I turn this monitor around, you will be able to see how we've integrated the subwoofer. So if you can see on the back side here, we have a subwoofer unit, and what's very special about this unit is it's a force cancelling unit. So we call this symmetric drive woofer, SDW. And what it does is, if you were to try and put a conventional woofer into something like this, the vibrations would, firstly, they would probably excite a lot of resonances in this large back panel here. But secondly, it creates a lot of visual artifacts on the display screen. Many of these, particularly the LED displays, are very sensitive to vibration. And so it's just unacceptable to put a conventional woofer solution in there and actually get good performance. But with the symmetric drive approach, we have a force balanced approach that cancels out any vibrations, and that allows us to get really immersive deep bass from this monitor concept that's completely invisible to the user from the front side. I'll turn that back around. So yeah, we'll be showing off some gaming clips and also some audio clips as well, to really show what this concept can do for the home user. One of the things that we've heard from talking to our customers is that they really want to declutter the desk environment. So this was critical for us, was to get everything off the desk and have it really seamlessly integrated so that people are not having to add speakers and subwoofers and things onto their desk. So this is, we hope, a very compelling concept. So this area is focusing on gaming headsets and conferencing headset applications. So what we have here is, on the left-hand side, we're starting with the in-market product. So you have a regular MetaQuest 2 virtual reality headset. But as we know, there's very, very little room in the headset as it comes for the audio solution. So it's a very limited bandwidth, limited performance audio solution. But there's an accessory product that's made by Logitech. It's called the Chorus, and that integrates two BMR drive units, one on each side, that can hinge down and demonstrate the off-ear concept. So what we're achieving here is actually getting the gaming time up, because people are not feeling the physical discomfort of having something pressing on their ears for many, many hours. But also there's an auditory comfort aspect to this as well, because when you block your pathway, your hearing pathway, there's a certain amount of slight unease that builds over time, and that creates an auditory level of fatigue as well. So by going to the off-ear approach, you get a much more kind of immersive gaming experience. You capture a little bit of the HRTF around the user's pinny. And you can allow the crosstalk region as well from left to right. So it kind of takes that sound of a typical headphone sound that's inside the head and takes it outside the head, makes it much more spatial and immersive. So that's an in-market product. But we're also showing a new concept as well that we've developed. So again, it's a new drive unit. It has approximately the same performance, but 40% lighter, 20% thinner. And we've integrated it into these open back headset as well. And this is also integrated with a what's called a KCS, a clipple control sound chip solution that actually acts as a very, very smart limiter to track the position of the voice coil and make sure that you never drive it into distortion. You can actually keep the distortion almost an order of magnitude lower than you can without it. And this is really important, particularly when the drive units are so close to the ear. So you can get an extreme high performance solution with deeper bass and very, very clean sound. And this is great for long-term gaming, but also conferencing, people working at home or in conference environments where they have headsets on all day long, and that auditory fatigue, that physical fatigue, can make that job very uncomfortable at times. So we hope with the off-ear concept, this is really going to open up that space. And this whole concept is achieved through the BMR's wide directivity. So we've had some of our customers try and use conventional drive units in this solution, and what they found is that they were very intolerant of different head shapes and different slight mispositionings. But the BMRs, with that wide directivity up to the highest audible frequencies, means that it's extremely tolerant of different head shapes, and so you can actually drive that off-ear concept with the BMR technology. It really opens that up very nicely. Okay, this area we're showing our ultra slim 2.1 soundbar concept. This is actually the second version of this. The first one used a passive radiator to augment the low frequencies. This one, actually we get slightly better performance at a lower cost with a ported solution. So what we're showing here really is two of the high aspect ratio olivine drive units. Again, through the BMR modal control approaches that we use, we get extremely wide directivity coverage across the whole horizontal plane here, as well as the vertical plane, but the trick is getting it with the long dimension here in that horizontal plane. So everybody in the whole space is getting an extremely uniform experience. But then we cross over below about 200 hertz to the integrated woofer, as I mentioned. Again, this is a force balanced, as we call it, the symmetric drive woofer, again, that prevents any vibrations by cancelling vibrations at the drive unit itself. So this allows us, with this extreme high aspect ratio drive unit, to achieve what would be the lowest profile all-in-one soundbar that essentially is out there. But again, very, very immersive experience because of the wide directivity and the low frequency performance that can be achieved. And because of that low height, it means that you can place it in front of a TV and it doesn't block the IR sensor, doesn't block some of the closed captions at the bottom of the screen. Just very, very nice and discreet to integrate into any environment. So yeah, as I say, this is the Rev 2 version that we're showing this year. Okay, this section of our suite, we're showing off our drive unit selection. So there's quite a few drive units here that are sort of in market for some time. So what I'm going to focus on today is some of the new drive units that we're introducing in 2025. So I'll start over here on the left-hand side with one of our new drive units. This one, internal code name is Applite. So this is a mid-high drive unit designed to be used from about 250, 300 hertz upwards. And this was what was featured in our two-way monitor demo. So again, because of the fact that we've now moved the crossover region down to that 300 hertz region where the wavelength is over a meter, it means that we can integrate this with a dedicated subwoofer drive unit, and the position and separation of the drive units is not as critical as it is in a typical two-way where you're crossing over at, say, 2 kilohertz. So this drive unit really enables a whole new sort of philosophy of getting better performance from the same sort of form factor enclosure in something like a studio monitor. You get this extreme smooth and wide directivity from the mid-HF BMR drive unit, and it couples to a dedicated subwoofer drive unit for the lower frequencies. So that's Applite coming out this year. We've seen the what we call andesite. This is the first of our symmetric drive woofer technology products. This one is out and in market now. So this is about a 30 millimeter thick symmetric drive woofer with the force cancelling technology. But new for this year is the next size up, which we call granulite internally. So this increases the thickness by about 10 millimeters, but it increases the performance by about 2.5 to 3 times because of the significantly increased stroke that we can get. So that gives us a much greater what we call linear volume displacement of air. So again, this can be used for higher SPLs, lower frequencies, and really drive a much more powerful low frequency solution in about the same sort of form factor, just a little bit thicker. So this is, again, will be a great partner for the high aspect ratio drive units in things like sound bars, and we see applications also into things like automotive. and also in TVs, anywhere where vibration reduction is really important, and that symmetric drive woofer concept really shines and makes certain applications where you couldn't put a woofer before, now you can put a woofer in there. And finally, moving across here on the right hand side, so we showed earlier on in the headset the current in-market headset product from Logitech, but also, and that's using this drive unit. This is a current in-market drive unit. This is the TBM 35CO2. But what we've done is actually maintain the performance, but we've been able to shrink it by about 20% in the thickness and a reduction of about 40% in the weight. This is really important when you're using it for an off-ear headset application where you want to keep the weight down, keep the physical size down. So the fact that we've been able to do that and maintain the performance is really key to driving this through now into headset gaming, conferencing applications.